Alright, let's be honest, America likes to think of itself as the center of the universe. But what if America doesn't just sneeze? What if it goes full-blown, face-planting into the birthday cake collapse? In this video, we're diving headfirst into that terrifying thought experiment. We're talking about the potential collapse of the United States, and no, this isn't some dystopian movie plot, although it feels like we're living in one already. We're talking real-world consequences, economic shockwaves, and the countries that would be left scrambling for a life raft in the wake of a sinking US ship. Buckle up, folks, because we're about to explore the domino effect of a potential American collapse, focusing on 10 nations that are particularly vulnerable. From financial devastation to political instability, we're breaking it all down, so grab your hard hats, it's about to get messy. Let's start with China, shall we? You know, that economic powerhouse that America loves to see as both a rival and a piggy bank. Well, here's the thing about intertwined economies, they tend to sink or swim together. China holds a massive amount of US debt, and a sudden American collapse would leave Beijing holding a very expensive, very worthless IOU. Imagine finding out your rich friend who promised to pay you back for all those takeout dinners, suddenly declared bankruptcy. Yeah, not ideal. An American collapse would disrupt global trade on a scale we haven't seen in, well, ever. And guess who relies heavily on global trade? You guessed it, China. Their factories, which churn out everything from iPhones to those weird plastic toys you win at carnivals, would grind to a halt. Unemployment would skyrocket, social unrest might follow, and suddenly, the dragon might find itself struggling to breathe. So yeah, China, not exactly sitting pretty in this scenario. Next up, our neighbors to the north, Canada. They're like that friend who always brings the good snacks to the party and never starts a fight. They seem so chill, right? Well, get ready to see Canada sweat, because if America falls, Canada's economy might as well start practicing its best sorry, eh? See, Canada and the US are joined at the hip when it comes to trade. We're talking billions of dollars flowing back and forth every single day. But if those dollars dry up, if American consumers are no longer buying Canadian lumber or maple syrup, the horror, the Canadian economy is going to feel the pinch. And by pinch, we mean full-blown economic heart attack. A destabilized America could lead to a refugee crisis with people fleeing south, or should we say north, seeking stability. Suddenly those polite excuse me's and after yous might start to sound a little more desperate, eh? Now let's head south of the border to Mexico, a country with a complicated relationship with the US. They share a border, a history, and a lot of economic entanglement. This entanglement doesn't end well for Mexico if America goes belly up. Remittances from Mexican workers in the US are a lifeline for many communities. If that lifeline is cut, imagine the hardship it would cause. Families would struggle to put food on the table and kids might leave school. Mexico relies heavily on the US for trade, investment, and tourism. An American collapse would hit their economy hard, and let's not forget about the potential for increased violence and instability along the border. It wouldn't be pretty, folks. Not pretty at all. Now let's hop across the Pacific to Japan, the land of bullet trains, elaborate politeness, and a deep-seated fear of economic stagnation. Japan might seem like it's got its act together, but even their meticulously crafted economy wouldn't be immune to the shockwaves of an American collapse. See, Japan's financial markets are deeply intertwined with the US. They hold a ton of US debt. Are we sensing a theme here? And their corporations rely on American consumers to buy their cars, electronics, and other exports. If those consumers disappear, well, so does a big chunk of the Japanese economy. Japan is already facing some serious demographic challenges, with an aging population and a shrinking workforce. An American collapse would only exacerbate these issues, pushing Japan closer to the economic abyss. It's enough to make even the most stoic samurai weep into their sake. Next up, we're heading to the heart of Europe, to Germany, a country known for its efficiency, its love of rules, and its cars that could probably outrun a cheetah on the Autobahn. But even Germany, with its economic prowess, wouldn't be immune to an American collapse. Germany relies heavily on exports, and the US is one of their biggest trading partners. If American consumers stop buying German goods, the German economy will take a serious hit. It's like driving a Porsche at top speed and suddenly slamming into a brick wall. An unstable America could embolden Russia, leading to conflict in Eastern Europe. And Germany, with its history and location, would find itself right in the middle of that mess. Now, let's pop over to the United Kingdom, shall we? You know, that island nation that decided it was a brilliant idea to leave the European Union, a move that's about as popular as a pigeon at a picnic. Well, if they thought Brexit was messy, wait until they see what an American collapse would do. See, the UK's financial sector, that beating heart of their economy, is deeply intertwined with Wall Street. We're talking billions, if not trillions of dollars in transactions happening every day. But if Wall Street goes belly up, if the American dollar collapses like a poorly constructed tower of crumpets, the UK's financial institutions will be left scrambling for cover. And let's not forget about the political ramifications. A weakened America could embolden Russia and other adversaries, potentially destabilizing the entire European continent. It's enough to make even the Queen reach for another gin and Dubonnet. Let's shift our focus to South Korea, shall we? The land of K-pop, kimchi, and technological innovation that would make your iPhone blush. But even South Korea, with its economic dynamism and cultural influence, wouldn't escape the fallout of an American collapse. South Korea's economy, particularly its tech sector, is deeply integrated with the United States. They rely on American consumers to buy their smartphones, semiconductors, and other high-tech goodies. But if those consumers disappear, if the American market for their products dries up faster than a puddle in Death Valley, the South Korean economy is going to feel the heat. And let's not forget about their neighbor to the north, shall we? North Korea, with its unpredictable leader and nuclear ambitions, is a constant source of anxiety for South Korea. A weakened America might embolden North Korea to make a move, potentially sparking a conflict that could make the Korean War look like a schoolyard scuffle. Not exactly the kind of sequel anyone wants to see. Now, let's head over to India, shall we? The land of spices, Bollywood, and a population that's about to overtake China's. India might be a rising economic powerhouse, but even they wouldn't be immune to the shockwaves of an American collapse. See, India's economy, while growing rapidly, is still reliant on trade and investment from developed countries, including, you guessed it, the United States. An American collapse would disrupt global trade, send shockwaves through the financial markets, and make investors around the world run for cover. It's like trying to build a house of cards in the middle of an earthquake. They're sandwiched between two nuclear-armed rivals, Pakistan and China, and tensions are always simmering. A weakened America could embolden these rivals, potentially leading to conflict in a region that's already a powder keg. Let's head down to Brazil, shall we? The land of carnival, beautiful beaches, and an economy that's as volatile as a capoeira fighter. Brazil might be a country of exuberance and natural beauty, but even they wouldn't escape the fallout of an American collapse. Brazil's economy, you see, is heavily reliant on exports, particularly commodities like soybeans, iron ore, and oil. And guess who's one of their biggest customers for these raw materials? Yep, the United States. So, if the American economy goes belly up, if demand for Brazilian exports plummets faster than a macaw from the rainforest canopy, Brazil's economy is going to feel the pain. It's like a carnival parade suddenly grinding to a halt. Brazil is already grappling with inequality, poverty, and political instability. An economic crisis triggered by an American collapse would only exacerbate these issues, potentially leading to social unrest and political upheaval. Finally, let's hop over to Australia, shall we? The land of kangaroos, koalas, and an economy that's more reliant on China than a didgeridoo on eucalyptus wood. Now, we've talked about China's woes if America collapses, but Australia, they might be geographically isolated, but economically they'd be right in the thick of it. Australia's economy, you see, is heavily dependent on exporting raw materials, particularly iron ore and coal, to feed China's insatiable industrial appetite. But if China's economy goes into a tailspin, if their demand for Australian resources dries up faster than a puddle in the outback, Australia's economy is going to take a serious hit. It's like a boomerang that, well, doesn't quite come back. A weakened America could embolden China in the Asia-Pacific region, potentially leading to increased tensions and even conflict. And Australia, with its strategic location and close ties to the US, would find itself caught in the middle. So, there you have it, folks. 10 countries, 10 examples of how interconnected our world truly is, and how an American collapse would send shockwaves rippling across the globe. It's a sobering thought, isn't it? But hey, at least it's not all doom and gloom. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, even if it did make you want to go build a bunker in your backyard, please subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses. We promise to keep it real, even if reality bites. Stay informed, stay engaged, and let's work together to build a more stable and prosperous future for everyone.